And then we move on to the remaining open mic poets, and I'm going to start with a couple of poems. This first one is from my new collection, which is The Ghost of Franz Kafka, handily and conveniently on sale just over there. And I was at an exhibition at the British Museum called The Vikings in Britain, and I thought, what about the Vikings in Ireland, because they were there as well. So I thought I'd redress the balance by writing a poem called Vikings in Ireland. Despite founding its capital, the Vikings were denied 1,000 welcomes, the Irish being no fans of slave trading or unsalted butter. They were fond of the dark stuff, which they'd one day brew and market all over the world. They had no need of Scandinavian verse, having many blood-curdling epics of their own, and long memories which didn't forget a single syllable. The Vikings had to make do with taking what they could, while suffering the odd bloody nose. They had to learn to chase armies into the hills, only to see them disappear into the bogs and mist, to the sound of echoing red-haired laughter. Such were the perils of invasion, of settling in the dark pool. Denied 1,000 welcomes, at all times under a cloud, no one impressed by their sexy longboats, how fast they sailed upriver and out to sea. Not a thing the Vikings could do to get themselves liked. Women spat on their shoes, men went on digging peat. 1,000 welcomes, you must be joking. Cool disdain and muttered imprecations were the best they could expect, as they sat on the Liffey and scratched their heads, watching the sun set neutrally over Wicklow Mountains, making no distinction between visitors and visitees. This is a poem I wrote after hearing a representative from the Fire Brigades Union on the radio talking about Grenfell, and it's called Grenfell, A Union Rep Speaks. The union rep is furious. We had 50% cuts in the past 4 years. You can't tell me that if we'd had 50% more firefighters, we wouldn't have saved more lives. She's on radio, but I can imagine her drawn face, lips quivering as she fights to spit out the words while staying composed. One firefighter found a woman and her child on the stairs. She couldn't take both, so she saved the child. She can't stop thinking about it. Our job is to save lives. The studio goes quiet. The world goes quiet. Birds pause midway through song. This is the awful truth. More lives could have been saved. The blameless feel crushed because they couldn't do more, although they did everything, while the poor are sacrificed to the gods of austerity. What is the life of the abandoned mother worth? What is it worth in stocks and shares? Anger grows like flames up a tower block. It will not be quenched until the villains face justice, their heartlessness consumed in a bonfire of shame. Thank you. And the next Dodo is Mr. P.R. Murry.
Whoops.
Sorry, I'll probably stand up because I'm only going to do one.
Okay.
And it's about something people were discussing earlier. That is a dead mouse. And
Are you responsible for this dead mouse?
no, but this is the dead mouse I was responsible for. I arranged an assassination of a visitor to my home, but I'm no modern Machiavelli or player in a Game of Thrones, so I must stress it was not a guest who died on my floor alone. My victim came in uninvited. I was not a jovial host. He or she ran away in a streak of grey, so at first I thought it was a ghost. But in the end, through overconfidence, my visitor showed its true form. Pointy at the front, incontinent at the back, it shat all over my floor. Now, I'm no benign Buddhist mystic or smiling tolerant sage, so scattering mass turds all over my place caused my anti-rodent death rage. But when I took the limp corpse out to throw it in the bin, the mouse god started planning a vengeance for my rodenticidal sin. Soon I know that I'll be offered something I can't refuse, a free holiday forever or a return ticket to youth. Then I'll tread on the trigger to get it. The man-trap will smash into my back and I'll become reincarnated to scurry for crumbs in the corner of a fat man's flat.
Thank you, Pete. Thank you, Pete. Our next reader is all the way from my old home patch from Merton. Please welcome Mr. Lee Yan.
Thank you. I'll do 2 poems, both equal to Patric's poem. The first one is about Grenfell, and the second one is about the Tiananmen massacre. And also I always remember Patric did a poem about that too. So I'll just read them one after another. Grenfell Inferno. I am on fire. My flat is ablaze. Our stairways burn. Grenfell Tower is in flames. No fire alarm. No hose pipes. No sprinklers. No way out. Cladding burns. Fire soars. Smoke squeezes through the door. Flames sweep the floor. Mobile lights flash. Arms and hands wave. They burn on the window. People cry for help. Children scream shrill. Toxic smoke chokes. A mother throws her baby down. A man raises his hands. Flames roar. Fumes silence. Out of the black and the maze and the blazingly red, some jump to the ground. No more way to help. No hands to save more. No way up or down. No more hope. Don't cry. Don't cry, my love. Don't fear. Don't be afraid. We'll be all right. Don't cry, my love. Don't fear, my love. Mother walks on flames in the air to save her child. Fire, oh fire. Who has made this inferno? Every year tonight, I walk towards our memory. In the sound of my foot, I step out your band name. Every year tonight, I walk towards our memory. I hear worry not bird sing our band song. It was tonight we first met. It was tonight we first fell in love. It was tonight flowers started to bloom, but the gunshots separated us apart. Every year tonight, I walk towards our memory. Blood all over the city bleeds in my frozen world of amnesia. Every year tonight, I walk towards my memory. Beijing was under martial law. Tanks alongside Long Peace Avenue roared towards the heavenly peace gate. How many flowers, one after another, fell? How many flowers were taken to medical care? How many flowers were crushed into dust? How many flowers did leave this world. Every year tonight, I walk towards our memory. In front of my eyes, flowers bloom and bloom like dreams. Every year tonight, I walk towards our memory. In your bright smile rises such a shining dawn. When will we meet again? When will we gather? How many more years will I have to walk before I see flowers once again bloom? Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Leanne. And our next open mic reader is Kate B.Hall. Kate has a new collection coming out shortly and a book launch coming up, but let her tell you about that as well as read you some poems. Kate B.Hall.
I do have a book coming out, but I have no publicity for it because my computer, printer and everything's just died. It got something called a startup bug. Means it won't start up. So we've got a new one coming. But until then, if you want to know about it, you can either give me your email and I'll invite you, or you can look on Facebook or on Bad Betty Press. That's easy to remember, isn't it? Bad Betty Press. And that will tell you all about it and the book and all the other books they publish. Okay. Yeah, I want to start with that. I haven't read this for ages and I'm quite fond of it. It's a bit silly. Reply to the Passionate Shepherd. Now before we start, can everybody remember from school Christopher Marlowe's Come Live With Me and Be My Love? It's a shepherd asking his girlfriend to come and live with him. This is her answer. I will not come and live with you, nor will I to you be true. I want none of your sheep, nor do I need you to keep me in clothes and gold, nor have me in your hold. I am my own person, you see, and am determined to be free. When lambing comes in the cold, on my own behalf I will be bold. I'll be no chattel or a wife, having babies all my life. My future, I know, lies elsewhere, and I will live without a care. If I have livestock, they will be on my own land and belong to me. John, you are not in love with me, that is plain for all to see. You want a servant for your flocks, and someone who will wash your socks. This is slightly more serious. When I wrote it, I was in Roddy Lumsden's class and he said to me, "Is that true?" And I said, "More or less." Kate is 18th century slang for a pickpocket. And this is called epitome for a younger Kate. Giver of names, stealer of a name, the name she wasn't born to. Plunderer of hearts and other people's loves. She is the ghost of me, gone before me with my name. Watcher of children who should be at school, of giggling girls and swaggering boys, smiling, remembering the truanting teenager, days stolen in Soho, at risk but lucky. Her hand slips into my memories, prizes them open, and oysters cringe just before swallowing. She torments me with her failures, her rages, her losses, and my guilt, long gone, irresistible still. And last one. This is my slightly ashamed poem. It's called Starring. When I have that dream, asleep or awake, of myself, young and beautiful, in some kind of Hollywood movie, I know I should shy away from the poetic romanticising of poverty, yet still I find my portrayal of itinerant factory hands and old American cars attractive. I've never worked in a factory or seen the sun blaze down on a dusty Cadillac, except in films, which depict a kind of hellish heaven, earthy, scrumptious, dangerous and wild.
Thank you. Thank you. We've got one more open mic spot and also then our feature poets returning. So there's about 25 minutes left of the afternoon. It's getting a bit noisy with traffic here. Would you mind if I close this window? Would you be okay with that? Or there's the air coming in from here, so I'm just a bit worried that you're not going to be able to hear people properly. The traffic is building up outside.
That's fine. I find it fine.
You can hear okay?
Yeah, it's all right from here, Patrick.
Yeah, okay, fine. I'll leave the window. Okay, now I'd like to welcome our last open mic reader, and he is all the way from over there, John Hurley.
This is a little sonnet about my pursuit of romance as a 14-year-old boy. Our daddy was a wealthy man, acquisitions, lots of sackings. I came from a lower caste with social graces lacking. Murry was a lovely girl, good manners, middle class. Not a lot in common with the you two cut the grass. And yet, she smoked my woodbines. As we sat in the tool shed, Mam and Dad were often absent with the busy lives they led. I never called her by her name, usually just Miss. But one evening, in a thunderstorm, I stole a naughty kiss. During lightning and torrential rain, she was a frightened lass. She never even slapped my face. Said, just stick to cutting grass. So quickly I was disabused of all my silly notions. People with her background have a tight grip on their emotions. The tempest was a trigger. My behaviour was quite crass. But then she clung to me like bad luck to a tinker's ass. I ran against the caste system when I was 19. Also, another setback, however. I went there to fit a boiler in her uncle's big new mill. And Sue was down from Oxford. She was helping at the till. I feel that to a workman, it was the closest she had been. Not terribly romantic, we met in their canteen. I know that I was smitten by this lovely English rose, and I was young and lustful, and I could see her without clothes. She said her friends at college were such a silly bunch. With her coaxing eyes and lovely lips, she invited me to lunch. She told me that her family were mostly academics. After dinner conversation meant dialectics and polemics. There were moments at the table I felt ill at ease. Aristotle was mentioned twice before we reached the cheese. Daddy had a goatee beard and leather patches on his jacket. And I wore a Burton suit and I wondered, could I hack it? Mother wore a twin sweat with a single row of pearls. Quite conscious of must take the can. His beard and hair were dripping moisture, a face a network of deep lines. Did he know I had a compassion bypass it, as his outstretched hands received my kinds? I hurried on to warmth and comfort, my conscience salved by this parting gift. Onus on others to find answers to our society's greatest rift. I have no answers to Cardboard City and growing masses outside the fold, or the fault lines between wealth and ghettos, and human beings left in the cold. Long time ago in another country, a man sought a room for his pregnant wife. Even then there was housing pressure. No room at the inn in another life. Thank you.